Hey guys, Al here, Vitalize Seed. Hope everybody's having a good day. So behind me is a quick image of what a magnesium deficiency can look like. So a lot of times people think of yellowing, they probably are going to say, yeah, I'll give it nitrogen. But magnesium does play an important role in our soils as well as our plants. And I want to talk a little bit about that today because I do often see it as being low. And I want to make sure we understand what that does in the soil, what it does in the plants, and what are some of the sources we can use to get that magnesium up. So the role of magnesium in the soil helps with the soil structure on the chemical side. So we've talked a lot about base saturations in the past, and it's going to help that if you have a real sandy soil, you're going to want your magnesium a little bit higher in concentration. If you have a real light soil, or excuse me, a real heavy soil, you might want your magnesium a little bit lower and a little bit more calcium to help in that soil porosity. So that's very critical. And then also, magnesium does not just stop there as far as the structure of the soil goes, but it also helps with chlorophyll, as well as magnesium has a trigger impact on the enzyme systems within the plant. So obviously it's just playing a critical role within the plant. We don't have to get into the nuances of exactly how it works within the plant, at least in this video, but it does play a very important role in plant growth. So what are some sources of magnesium? Well, as you can see here, this is just talking about calcium and magnesium, and talks about calcium being available in limestone as well as gypsum. Calcium and magnesium are inversely correlated. So if you put a bunch of gypsum down, let's say, because you heard somebody tell you that, oh, gypsum's great for my soil, I put it down, I really sweeten it up. That's only good if you don't need any additional magnesium in your soil, because that calcium will break down and it will drive your magnesium out of your soil profile. So if you have a lower pH and you need to adjust that, you're going to want to make sure you go with a dolomite limestone, which is the center one there, magnesium carbonate. That's going to help that magnesium to increase, so you get those benefits, what we saw in the previous slide, for your plants, and also, as we discussed, the soil structure. If your pH is adequate and you don't want to adjust it any further, let's say it's at 6.8 and you don't really want to adjust it any further, then we'd be looking for additional sources for magnesium, be it a compost or a manure, or you could even look at synthetics like K-Mag or something like that. That's when we would involve, what does the potassium base saturation look like? Most soils can handle a little bit more potassium that I've seen. If your magnesium's low, your potassium's pretty low, and typically then your calcium is a little bit too high, so we need to adjust that downwards. But really, the biggest key here that I wanted to touch on is that magnesium, although not talked about a lot, it can be an important nutrient, and one that we just want to pay attention to as far as the soil structure goes, but also it is important to plant health. And if you're going to pick out your lime source, and you are going to lime, you might as well try to knock out two birds with one stone and make sure that you're picking one out that either is going to check the box of more calcium or more magnesium, so that you're balancing that soil at the same time. If you like this stuff, guys, please check us out at vitalizeseed.com. We're shipping Nitro Boost orders every day. We sure do appreciate you, and I hope you all get outside, enjoy the outdoors, and be safe.